Hello viewers, welcome to this tutorial where we will dive into how to precisely judge good positions in drafts by recognizing key moves. Understanding when to strike, hold back, or reposition your pieces is crucial to dominating the board. Whether you are an amateur or seasoned player, mastering these techniques will significantly improve your game. Let's get started. White opened the game by playing 31-26, and then black respond to this move by playing 17-21, removing the piece at square 26, moving to square 22. Then white played 37-31 and black played 6-11. Black can also play 7-11. Black can play 7-11, but he decided to play 6-11, removing the piece at the corner here. And then white responded by playing 32-28. So as white played from 32 to 28, black can move to square 6, taking the vertex at 6 here because of the piece at 28. The 28 here has 6 as its vertex, so black can move to 6 to allow the exchange. Black can play 12-17 to maintain a very strong position at the center. So black play 12-17, and this move of black aims to maintain a strong defensive formation and avoid giving white any intermediate advantage in exchanges. So we want to maintain this position, and white responded by playing 31-26. He moved to square 26. Black responded by playing 19-23, so removing the piece at square 28. And I've shown this move in one of my videos, that when white takes square 26, you also have to control square 23. So black needs to remove white piece at square 28 and take charge of square 23, because the white piece at 26 has 23 and then 22 as 8 key squares. So we can move to square 23 to control square 23. So black played 19-23, and as I've explained, as white played 31-26 and black responded with 19-23, removing white piece at square 28. Black gained control over square 22 and 23, which are strategically important. This move serves 3 purposes. 1. Central control. Black's pawn now hold key central squares, making it harder for white to penetrate the center. The second one is piece activity. Black's active position on square 22 and 23 gives greater flexibility for future moves. And then the third one is preventing a combination. This move may also prevent white from executing a powerful combination by limiting white's potential moves. So in response, white played 34-29, removing black piece at square 23, which is a good thing for white to do. Here, black has 4 options. He can play 13-19, taking control of square 19. He can also play 7-12, taking control of 12. And then he can also play 1-6. If you look at the white position as square 30, and we draw the square diagram, we see that the vertex at square 30 has 24 as key position, and that of 10 has 14 as key position, that of 8 has 13 as key position, and we have 28 here. The vertex at 28 here has 23 as key position, so we can take control of the center of the square. And also the vertex at 8 has 12 as key position, so that's why we can also play 7-12 to take control of this key square here. And then we have the vertex here, which is 6, and we can also take the vertex. Now when we take this vertex, it means that all the vertices here has been taken control of, and which ensures balance. So these are the possible move black can make. Black chose to move to square 6, making sure that all the vertices here has been taken control of. Then white responded by playing 44-39, and then 7-12 is now played by black. Black moved to 12 because if you have the position here, 12 will serve as a key square. So we need to take control of square 12. Now here, black has built a very nice formation at the center, having this pyramid formation at the center of the board. White responded to this move by playing 50-44, and black responded by playing 10-14. White played 41-37, developing the piece in the single corner, and black responded by playing 14-19. As you have seen it, the white piece at 37 has 39, 19, and 17 as the vertices, and then the key squares will be 23, 24, and then 21. And we can move to square 19 to have control of these key squares here. But the vertex here has been taken control of. Black has a piece at square 17, so we can also take control of square 19 so that we balance the position. White advanced to square 41, developed the piece at square 46 by playing 46-41. Black responded to this move by playing 5-10. Now, if we check the position, we see that 41 here has these vertices, and 10 will serve as a key square. Anytime white move from the single corner here, we can also move our piece from the single corner. We can also play 5, 10. 10 will now be a key square. So square 10 is a key square. We can take control of square 10. White played 30-25, and black moved to square 14. 40-34 was played by white, and black played 2-7. 2-7 is played by black. If we check the position, we see that the current piece of white is now at square 34, and if we use it to check the position, we see that these are the vertices of the square, and 7 will serve as the key square. So we can play 2-7. We move to 7 to take control of the key square here. White played 44-40. Here again, if we take a look at the vertices of the square from the current position of white at 40, we have 40, 38, 18, and then 20. We also have 36 and 16. And now 23 is a key square, 21 is also a key square, 24 is also a key square, 22 is also a key square. Looking at the vertices here, so we see that 21 is a key square, 22 is a key square, 23, 24 are all key squares. Black has the option of moving to square 24 or 23 or 21. So black can play 16-21 or 19-23 and also 20-24. But if we look at the position tactically, we see that the vertex at 38 also has 33, 32 as key squares. Since we have a piece at 22, we can take control of these 4 key squares over here by removing this piece at 33, by removing the white piece at 33. And tactically, we know that white doesn't have any piece at square 46 and 50, and I've explained this in one of my videos. So since there are no piece here at 46 and 50, black can attack white through the center by taking control of square 28, which will make it very difficult for white to attack. Tactically, the best move here is to play 22-28, attacking white through the center. Then white responded by playing 34-31, 30. 16, 21 is played by black. Black has to play 16, 21. Again, if you look at the current position of white, we have the vertex at 30. We also have 28 and then 26. So 21 is a key square. 24 is also a key square. 23 is also a key square. And 22 is also a key square. So these are the key square. Black can remove white piece and move to square 22. Since we have this piece here, we need to remove white piece at square 26. So this piece here strengthens the piece at square 28. And then 36, 31 is played by white. White move to square 31 and black played 6, 11. So black take control of the vertex at 11 because the white piece at 31 has 11, 13 and 23 as vertices, so black can move to square 11. White played 31, 27, removing black piece at square 22. He advanced to square 26 and 19, 23 was played by black. Again, as white moved to square 26, we need to control square 23 because 23 is a key square. So the 26 here has 26 as a vertex, 28 as a vertex, and since this is a vertex, 23 and 22 will be the key squares. So we move to square 23. Then 26, 21 was answered by white. White moved to square 21 and black played 14, 19. As white moved to square 21, 23 is a vertex and 19 and 18 are key squares. So white can move to 19, taking control of this key square here and then exchanging this piece. White played 21, 16. He moved to square 16. Now black played 4, 9. If you look at the position, 20 and 18 are the vertices and 13 and 14 are the key squares. So black can play 9 to control these key squares here. Since we don't have any piece to move to square 14, black can move the piece at square 4 to square 9 to have control of the key squares. And this 9 here represents the center of the square, and the move here is very important, and we know that the center of the square is also very important. So we move to square 9. White played 41, 36. He moved to square 36. And black played 12, 17. If you look at the position, as white moved to square 36, we have 36 as a vertex, 38 as a vertex, 18 as a vertex, and 16 as a vertex. So the key squares will be 21, 22, 12, 11. And we can take control of square 17 to have control of these key squares. We can move to square 17 to have control of 22, 21, 11, and 12. But white cannot play 11, 17 because 11, 17 will be a blunder. This move will be made by 30, 24. So if black plays 11, 17, white will play 30, 24. And black will lose the game. So sometimes you need to read the position very well. As black has a piece at square 28, now 28 here, if we should draw the square diagram, since we have the piece at square 28, playing 11, 17 will create a path to king at 2. So to avoid that, we need to move the piece at square 12 to square 17. So that's the best move we need to play. So this move is now met by white by playing 36, 31. And then black responded with 20, 24. These are the vertices. 29, 30, 20, 19 will be key square. So black can move to 24, taking control of the key squares here. Now white played 30-25 and black removed the piece at square 25 by playing 15-20. He now exchanged to square 20 and 40-34 was answered by white. And black played 7-12 here. If you look at the position, the vertices of the square will be 34, 32, 12 and 14. Black moved to square 12 to remove the piece at square 16. And 31-26 was played by whites. Here, black can play 1-7 or 8-12 can also be played. 1-6 can also be played. If you look at the vertices, 26, 18, 8 and then 6. So 12, 11, 2, 1 will be key squares, and black can move to 7 to have control of the 4 key squares here, or play 8, 12 to take control of this key square, or move to the vertex of the square at square 6. So these are the possible options that black has. So any move black makes here is good. But black chose 1-6 and 34-20 was played by white. 34-30 was played by white. And here again, if we check the moves, the current position of white at 30 has 28, 8, 10 as the vertices. Also 6, 26, they are also vertices. So 12, 11 and 22, 21 are the key squares. Black can play 8, 12. Black can also play 6, 11, but 17, 21 is not possible because of white piece at square 26. Black can also play 18, 22, but we don't want to lose the piece at the center of the board. So we move the piece at the corner here. We bring this piece to the center of the board. By playing 18, 22 weakens your center a bit. We don't want to lose the piece at the center, so we can play 8, 12 or 6, 11. But black chose to play 8, 12. And white played 30, 25. Black answered by playing 6, 11. So the exchanges were made and white played 45, 40. Black answered by playing 10, 14, taking control of this key square. If you check the position, you see that 14 is a key square, and 40, 34 was played by white, and then black played 14, 19. 19 is a key square, so black moved to square 19, and 34, 30 was played by white. Black played 3, 9. Black moved to square 9 because the 9 here, as white moved to square 30, the key squares will be 14, 4, 15, 5. Also, we'll have 13, 3, 12, 2. But if black takes square 8, white will have an advantage of breaking through to king. So the best move here is to take control of square 9 to have control of these key squares. Because if, let's say, black has a piece at 5, 5 will move to square 10. Or if black has a piece at square 10, then we move to square 14, taking control of this key square. So black moved to square 9, taking control of square 9. But you also know that 22 is also a key square. Black can play 17, 22. He decided to take square 9. So white moved to square 34, and then black takes control of square 22. White advanced to square 39, and black played 9, 14. 14 is a key square. As white takes control of 39, 14 becomes a key square. 17 is also a vertex of the piece at square 39. So we can also control 17 by playing 12, 17 or 9, 14. But black chose to play 9, 14. White exchanged the piece at square 28. So we have this position, and black played 1420. Because after white moved to square 43, 20 becomes a key square. So if we check the vertices of the piece at 43, we'll have 43, 23, and 25. And the key square here will be 20 and 30. So black can move to square 20 to take control of square 20. We also have 17, 17, and 27. But black chose to play 1420. And then white attacks black piece at square 20, and black will now move to 17 by playing 12-17, because 17 is a key square. The exchange was made, and white played 49-44. Black answered by playing 10-14, because 20, 19, 10, 9 are key squares. So black can move to square 14 to control these key squares. 44-40 was played by white, and black answered by playing 22-28. We move to the center again. So as white played 44-40, 33-32 becomes a key square. Black decided to take control of 28 to have control of these two key squares. Black can also play 14-20, but taking control of 28 seems a bit advantageous to black than 14-20. Then white played 40-34, and then black advanced to square 22. So still black can play 14-20, but he decided to move to square 22. Then white played 43-39, and black now moved to square 29, taking control of the vectors of the square. White moved to square 30, and then black takes control of 16, because 21 here will be a key square, but black cannot play 17-21, so he moved to square 16. White advanced to square 34, and black attacks the white piece at 34 by playing 24-29. And then black will move to square 24, taking control of the vectors of the square and preventing white from advancing to king. White moved to square 40, and 23-29 was played by black. So as white moved to square 40, 34, 33, 24, 23 will be key squares. So black can move to square 29 to control these key squares, and 29 also represent the center of the square. If we should draw the square, 29 will represent the center of the square. So black takes control of the center of the square. White responded by playing 48-43, and black played 22-27, because as white moved to square 43, 27 will be a key square, because the vertices of the white piece at 43 will be 43, 41, 21, 23, and at 21, 27 is a key square, so white can move to 27. You should also know that 18, 19 are also key squares, so black can also play 13-18, can also play 16-21, but he decided to move to 27, take square 27. And white responded by playing 43-39. Black played 28-22, attacking the piece, and also 32 will be a key square to the piece at 39. And then he exchanged the piece. Black advanced to square 37, because 37 will be a key square to this position, a piece at 33. And then white played 40-34, black played 27-31. White attacked the piece at 24 by playing 34-29, and then black played 24-30, sending white piece back, and he now advanced to square 36, because 36 will be a key square. So he moved to square 36, And then white played 29-24. Black moved to 41. White advanced to square 20. And then black moved to king at 46. White moved to 15. Black played 46-14. White played 33-29. Black played 17-22. 34-30 was played by white. Black played 14-46. Moved to a 46. White played 39-33. Black played 46-32. Moved to 32. 30-24 was played by white. 13-18 was played by black. Black moved to square 18, taking control of this key square because 24 will have 18 as a key square. So black takes the key square at square 18. 24-20 was played by white, and 32-5 was played by black. White played 29-24. 18-23 was played by black, and then white played 33-29 and followed by 47-42. Black played 5-23. White played 24-19. Black takes, and then white played 15-10. Black advanced to square 41. 10-4 was played by white, and black responded by playing 41-47. White played 36-18 and black played 33-17. And white lost the game. So by learning to evaluate board positions and utilizing key moves, you can make strategic decisions that lead to victory. Keep practicing these skills, and soon you will be able to outmaneuver your opponent with ease. Thank you for watching this lesson. Until then, see you in another lesson. Thank you.